Okay, guys, welcome to this week's show, the Fife Property Market Update. It's from the 16th of January to the 22nd of January, the week just passed. This is where we look at all the properties on the market, coming to market for the whole of the estate agents, and we look at that and see where we are in terms of the numbers. And this gives you a good indication about what you should be paying for a property in the Fife area. It's all about supply and demand at the end of the day. That's really what it comes down to. And let me just take you through that right now. If you can give me a second, I'll just share my screen. So this week, what's happened? I'll just share that in. Okay, hopefully everybody can see that. This is the properties actually come onto the market across Fife this week and actually sold in Fife across this week. Quite surprising, actually. Overall, 117 versus 78. I would have expected a lot more properties to go under offer and sold in the week. But we're back to normality in terms of the number of properties coming on, because it usually is typically about 120 a week. And we're just needing the sales to catch up as well. But I think that's just the start in the beginning of the year. It's hard to believe it. Just over 3 weeks ago was New Year, and 4 weeks was Christmas. It seems such a long time ago. I don't know about you. So in the Cooper area, you can see there 5 came to market, 3 went under offer. East Neuk, 7 came to market, 3 went under offer. St Andrews, nothing came to market, 4 went under offer. That's a good thing for St Andrews, because St Andrews usually lags behind. Leadenmouth, 14 came onto the market, and 8 actually went under offer. Dunfermline, 42. Now, the thing about Dunfermline, you've got a couple of house builders in there as well. They tend not to put their houses as sold. So that 42 is a wee bit inflated for the new builds that came on, but you don't actually see that transpiring as in sold, because they never put their properties as sold. So it's skewed a wee bit in terms of Dunfermline. So it probably is 32 versus 20 if you strip out the new builders. I think it was Taylor Wimpey actually went on. So Glenorthis, 14 versus 11. Kirkcaldy, 35 versus 21. Again, Kirkcaldy's got quite a lot of new build properties coming on with that development out at the Randolph, just across from Randolph Industrial Estate area. Okay, so let's look at some of the properties actually possibly coming to market. Give me a second, I'll just quickly look. Okay, so this was actually properties sold. This was 2 Ellis Street in Cellardyke. This is a townhouse in need of renovation. It had actually 11 viewers, 4 different people offered out, obviously 3 missing out on this, and it was listed at offers over 200,000. It needed a complete refurb top to bottom, basically a building site, and you could see that, and you saw that in the personal property tour for anybody that watched that throughout. And that was literally sold from that point in time. So if you've got a property like this and you think you need to do a lot to it before you put it on the market, think again, to be honest, because it did go significantly over this, over the offers over 200,000. The other one was 35 Rose Street in Methil. This was a 2-bedroom end terrace cottage. It had 14 different viewers and 3 different people offered on it. So obviously 2 missing out. It was listed on it, offered over 62,000. I mean, that is a great price point for this type of property. But again, that one's away as well. So these are the type of properties actually coming to market and people missing out. So if you've got properties like this, please feel free to contact us. What's going to be coming soon? We have a St Andrews Road in Largo Ward. We have a 4-bedroom detached, 4-bedroom 2-reception detached property, 3 bathrooms as well. It does have an office area, and it also is on a garage and a substantial plot, and it's a real good finish inside. So that will be coming to market quite soon. Inchlow and Balmullo, a detached 4-bedroom property, open plan dining, kitchen, lounge, 2 bathrooms, a garage, and it's move-in condition as well. One of the properties I actually completed this week, which was quite interesting, in the St Andrews area. If you've got more of these properties, we'd be more than happy, because I can now tell you what it actually went for. This property actually, this was North Street, 109 North Street in St Andrews. It was a 4-bedroom apartment with an HMO. It had 16 viewers, 5 offers. It was listed at offers over 520,000. Yes, for a 4-bedroom apartment in St Andrews in Market Street, or North Street, sorry. And it ended up selling for 91,000 over the home report value. So basically more than 20% almost over the home report value, 91,000 extra in the St Andrews market. If you have a property 4-bedroom apartment, maybe HMO in the centre of St Andrews, I can guarantee you we have people desperately looking for these types of properties that are prepared to pay significantly more than home reported value. So feel free to contact us direct for that, or you can click on the link in this post as well. Get an instant valuation without actually talking to us. I'll talk about that in just a wee minute. Two of the articles that we did this week was premium lettings, how to attract high professional tenants for your property. This went into a wee bit of detail. This was James Watson and myself. We're both seasoned property investors in the market. And we were talking about all the things you need to do to attract the best quality tenant to your property. We went into things like location. We also went into the interior of accommodation. We also went into the specification, all the flooring as well, storage and how you can utilize storage to its best capacity, and also the outdoor space required as well. It also gives a buyer a great insight into anybody that wants to maybe get into property investing, a buyer, exactly what they should be looking for in terms of what to buy for property investment itself. And on to that note as well, I also did my 11 rules for a buyer in Fife. So the 11 rules for buying property in Fife. We went into, this was myself and Jimmy Mullen. We went into this in a bit of detail as well. We did a show on this, we did a podcast on this, and we did an article on this. Now, the article will take you 3 minutes, 4 minutes to read. The podcast will take you probably about an hour to listen to. Easy opportunity. I can guarantee you the greatest thing to do is with your car, rather than listen to the radio, listen to podcasts, because it's a mobile university when you're traveling to and from your work. It's a golden opportunity to learn something new and learn a new skill set rather than actually listening to the radio. So if you think you've not got enough time to learn new things, there's your mobile university, which is basically your car. If you take half an hour there and half an hour back every day, that's literally 5 hours a week. If you're traveling 40 weeks of the year because you've got the rest of the time off, then you've literally got 200 hours of university time or learning time, which you can actually learn in your car from podcasts. I mean, how fantastic is that? It's a golden opportunity. Now, 200 hours at 40 hours a week, for example, that's essentially doing a 5-week full-time course on a subject. That's bound to increase your skill set, and it also increases your demand and what your skills are for what people would want. So I would that's my best advice for if you've not got enough time to listen, to watch anything or read anything, then listen to podcasts. They're absolutely fantastic. So we went into 11 reasons for buying. I'll just say a quick couple of hellos actually. Hi Angela, how are you? And hi Jordan, how are you? Good to hear from you. And if you've got any questions, guys, please feel free to ask. You can ask me now. I'm quite happy to answer them for you. We also went into things like location. Again, we talked about the bedrooms and how to stage that. We also talked about future house growth, the overall interior. This is actually quite interesting in Fife. The future house price growth in Fife since 2001. So this is since 2001. The Fife detached properties have actually risen by 192%. Who says property investment wasn't a great deal? Certainly outperformed the stock market, hasn't it? And Fife semi-detached properties have risen by 194%. Fife townhouses have risen by 237%. That's terraced houses. And apartments and flats have risen by 212%. So, that's a good investment category for these types. Hi, Susan. How are you? Nice to hear from you. Overall interior size of your future Fife property as well is in there. The price you will have to pay for your next Fife home on average. So we'll talk about that in that article as well. How to stage your bathrooms, how to stage, what to look out for in things like the living rooms and the lounges, what to look out for in central heating. There's some top tips from Jimmy and myself about the central heating systems. Sometimes some of these older style houses have heating systems which can no longer keep up with the current capacity that's required to heat the radiators. If you've got an older style heating system. And we also talked about the outside and how to stage that, and the loft and the cellar, and in other words, the attic, and the garage and the parking space you need as well. So that's quite a good one. So check that out, listen to the podcast, watch the show if you want, if you get time during the day on anything like that. The other one as well, just quickly while I'm recapping, we have our Fife Property wealth creation show tomorrow night. Now, I've put the links on here for the Wealth Creation Show because not everybody has access to social media. This is also streaming on Instagram. This is also streaming on YouTube. It's also streaming on Twitter as well at the same time. So we're on all different social media channels right across the board, and YouTube as well. So I've actually put links into Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter, and a podcast coming later for our Wealth Creation Show tomorrow night. So tune into that for 6:30. James Watson and myself are going to be talking about finance options, how to finance your next buy-to-let through different various sources and different various ways to do that. Possibly no money down. That here it comes. We might talk about it in detail tomorrow. We might not. We might just skim on it because we do reserve the deep dive sessions for our investors who actually invest with us and also use our services. And that'll be this Thursday at 7:30. We will be doing a private Zoom call with them. So if you're one of our investors, get in touch with Richard Cook, their lettings director. You'll know Richard anyway, more than likely. Get in touch with him and make sure you get that link to the private Zoom session this week on a Thursday at 7:30. He'll also be sending out to a lot of people as well. But what to do, what I would say to you is get in touch with him and also check your junk folder. Now, we send a lot of emails out, and what happens is because we put a lot of links in the emails, it's sometimes you get automatically put to a junk folder because you've got so many links in an email, and they automatically think you're spamming people. When in actual fact, it's a specific audiences we are sending it out to, you as our investors and you as our potential investors and landlords. It will go to you directly. So there's 900 of you out there getting this email sent to you. So watch out for that in your junk folder just in case it goes there. If it does, what to do is right click on it and then determine it is no longer junk. So every other time one of our emails comes in from you, it's going to be about that. I'm going to send one out later on actually to everybody, just about some details about further things for our Wealth Creation Show tomorrow night. So James and I is going to be talking about finance options, possibly no money down deals tomorrow night at 6:30. We'll also be talking about one of James's current projects he's working on. We actually did a show, like a Homes Under the Hammer show, James and I, just back maybe 2 or 3 months ago. So we're going to be talking about that, and we're also going to be talking about where he is just now and how he's achieved that and what's his expectations with it. And that gives you a good insight about to how you should expect things to happen for yourself as well. Finally, as well, tagging. Jordan, you've done exactly the right thing. Tag people in that you know about our Wealth Creation Show tomorrow. Could you imagine if somebody in 2 years' time comes to you and says, wow, they're running a masterclass in wealth creation, and you wouldn't believe how much money you could make and how much wealth you could create as a result. And they're giving all that information away for free. And you think, wait a minute, I knew about this 2 years ago and I never even checked it out and I never even told you about it. Wow, that'll go down well, eh? Okay, so potentially tagging anybody you think might be interested in creating more wealth for this year. We're on a mission this year to help everybody create more wealth within their thing. It doesn't necessarily need to be about property. It could be in terms of pensions. It could be in terms of planning. It could be in terms of future planning. These are all things I've done myself from the very beginning over the last 30 years. So I'll be touching on other investment strategies as well, not just primarily about property investing. That clearly is a real growth market for everybody, and it does return a lot of money. I mean, to be honest, if you could find a better asset class, it returns even more money than property investing. Tell me about it, and I'll do that as well at the same time. And finally, as well, as I said, usually every single week I put on for everybody, even investors and that, if you've got a property that you think, well, I'm not really sure about the valuation, it's a golden opportunity to go on and use our instant valuation tool. It gives you it gives you almost an exact amount of what your property could be worth based on 3 different criteria. So it gives you 3 different levels. One, when your house is in pristine condition. One, when your house is, you can move in and you can just refurb it on the way. The other one is when you have to move in and you have to kind of do it all up straight away. Bathroom's tired, kitchen's tired, needs carpets and decorations right away. So it gives you 3 different levels of valuation. But the great thing as well for investors, it actually gives you 3 different levels of rent based on the same criteria. And you'd be surprised. There's lots and lots of people out there not knowing really how much their house is truly worth and what asset they're actually sitting on, and the potential that they could release money if they wanted to do something they really want to do. They could refinance it on a cheaper mortgage. There's 11,000 people in Fife right now on variable rate mortgages. Now, the mortgage rate's gone up 1.15%. Okay. Now, so for some people on variable rate mortgages, you're up at 5%. Why on earth are you not paying 2.5% on a fixed rate mortgage? Because you can get that right now, right across the board for 2 years and possibly even fixed for 5 years. Could you imagine that? That's halving your mortgage overnight. But there's 11,000 people in Fife on variable rate mortgages. So make sure you can take advantage of that. It is a saving on the average mortgage in Fife of around £2,000 a year. That's literally £2,000 taking out of your pocket every single year, all because you've not got your mortgage fixed. So go and think about fixing it. Speak to a mortgage advisor. If you need some advice on the right mortgage advisor, we'll tell you that. We've got people that we work with all the time for that reason, because you're losing out on almost £2,000 a year if you're on the average mortgage. Some of you are more than the average mortgage, and on a variable rate mortgage, you're probably even losing even more money than that. So it's money. It could be in your pocket. For some people, it could be £200 a month out of their pocket every single month because they've not got the right mortgage. So that's why you need to talk about that, and you need to tell everybody and get that done. Okay, so nip on, check out the instant valuation tool, get a ready right now, find out what your house is worth. And until next time, guys, I'll see you tomorrow night at 6:30 for the Wealth Creation Show. I'm Jim Parker for Fife Properties TV.